Hey y'all, Fuzzy Biker here at Baxter Cycle in the mighty Minnetropolis of Marnie. It's a nice sunny day out there. Today we are here to talk about the 100,000 kilometer Royal Enfield Himalayan. My bike. I've been to the Arctic Circle, all over the country, everywhere. I've been everywhere, man. We're just going to talk about the engine this time, just the engine. I get a lot of questions about the engine. I wrote them down. And I'm just going to kind of go. So what is the engine? It's a single cylinder, liquid cooled, dual overhead cam, 4-valve. Makes about 40 horse, it's single cylinder, 40 horsepower, 30 foot-pounds of torque. That's 40 Newton meters, has a 6-speed transmission. It's solid as a rock. It's got a 8,000 RPM red line. I think there's a rev limiter in first gear. It'll surely go past that in the other gears. Ask me how I know. It's just solid. In 100,000 kilometers, we have really had no issues with the engine at all. It's just worked really good. I've left the whole thing stock, except for I put a DNA air filter in there. We had the tank off. Somebody said, "You want one of these?" We threw it in. So that's how that ended up in there. Otherwise, that'd be stock too. I just picked myself up a Gorilla, which has the same engine. How much faith I have in this thing. We'll just start with the valve. We'll start from the top and work our way down. So valve checks on this engine. The first valve check is 6,000. The second one is 6,000 miles after that. And after that, it's every 12,000 miles. And hi, Kara.
Hi, Fuzzy.
Anyway, we've done all our valve checks as scheduled. And in the 100,000 kilometers or 62,000 miles, we've only had to adjust the valves one time. So, and that time it was just barely out of whack, you know. So very solid engine. And this thing gets ridden a lot of hard miles. It's been in Colorado BDRs. It goes down the interstate for hours at a time at about 61 to 6,500 RPM, and redline's 8, so we're really running that tight. Next thing I got on my list here is oil changes. The oil changes are every 6,000 miles, and we've changed our oil at least every 6,000 miles. So 5,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 miles. If I come to the shop and I'm going to be going on a trip, we'll go and make a change on that. The oil we use is it's Motul, I think, 7100. It's a full synthetic. I call it Dragon's Blood. I like that oil because it's red, and I call it Dragon's Blood. I feel like I'm cool or anything. The bike has not used one drop of oil. It hasn't used a drop of oil in the whole time, and I personally find that amazing. I've had singles before. They always use oil between changes. This bike has not done that so far. Oil filter is right here under this cover, and that's something I can't remember. It was the third or fourth time we went to change it, went to pull that off, and then this cover broke, so we had to put a new one on. Baxter Cycle has those in stock, so no big deal there. Just be careful when you do it. So when we do it now, we put anti-seize on there, and we just barely tighten it up, and when we take it off, we do it gingerly. Air filter on this is under the tank. Like I said, I have a DNA filter. So every time we take the tank off, we clean the air filter. And a DNA filter is one of those things. You clean it, oil it, let it dry, and then you put it back in. And it's supposed to let more air in. If you're off-roading, maybe you don't want one of those because they might let more dust in. But the majority of this bike's life has been not off-road. So in 60,000 miles, let's say 10,000, 5 or 10,000 off-road for sure, somewhere in there. It's done its share. Power add-ons and exhaust. Well, the exhaust is absolutely stock. I just haven't done anything. I've still got my catalytic converter, the stock pipe, the original pipe. Everything is original on it. There was a heat shield that was right here that started coming loose, so we took it off. And we just haven't done anything with it, and it's still working fine. As far as power adds go, you can do things like, an exhaust pipe. You can do a fuel X. You can do, there's other things you can do. We haven't done any of that. And the reason we didn't do that is, one, I'm very happy with the amount of power it generates. The other is we wanted to check the engines, test the engine. And we got one of the first ones in the wild in America. And we wanted to test the engine, see how it worked in stock form. Cruising speed and RPMs. I get that one all the time. I think I mentioned that already. 6,100 RPM in top gear is about 75 miles an hour indicated on the speedometer, which is about 73 miles an hour otherwise. I generally run whatever the speed limit is between that and 5 over. And so if the speed limit is 75, I'll run between 75 and 80. If the speed limit is 70, I'll run 70 to 75. And that's you know, the bike lives at those RPMs pretty well. Haven't had any issues. It'll just do that mile after mile after mile. You know, I do a lot of long rides. I just got back from a 7,300 mile trip, you know, up to Canada, down the East Coast, across the West, you know, Southern Coast into Arizona, and the bike just doesn't, you know, no hiccups at all. I get asked about the clutch all the time. And, you know, have you replaced the clutch? What kind of trouble have you had with the clutch? Blah, blah, blah. None. Just none. Even adjusting the clutch, we've done that a minimal amount of times. Everything, you know, we have not cracked this engine open. We've had the valve cover off to do the valves, you know, to check and adjust the valve. But that's it. Everything else is just solid as a rock. How about the cable? We inspect the cable. We've never taken it off or changed it. We thought about doing that early on. We didn't do it because Royal Enfield says the bike is tested to 100,000 kilometers and it should do that without fault. And we did that. This bike has exactly 100,000 kilometers. The clutch cable is solid as a pound. And are we going to change it now? If Baxter said to change it, if they want to change it, we'll change it. But otherwise, I'm happy with it. I'm not insecure. Gearbox. That's another one I get asked about. You know, is the gearbox any good? The gearbox is awesome. I have not had any issues with shifting, you know, false gears, anything like that at all. Coming out of gear, anything. The gearbox is made to operate in everything from, you know, the BDRs that I've had it on, crossing rivers, the roughest roads you can imagine. It just does it. It just does it. And then it'll, you know, it'll do the back, you know, 2-lane blacktops. It'll do the interstate. That gearbox works in such a wide range, you know, that they've really done well designing it. There's a little more space between first and second than there is in the rest of the gears. And I don't know if that's because of neutral. And then I feel like there's a little more space between fifth and sixth. That might be in my head, but it feels that way. It's a very good transmission, works very well, very smooth. Gear lever, hey, I got that on there. This is an interesting one. So my first gear lever, I was rolling down the road, it was about 6 a.m. in the morning. I was in South Dakota. Raccoon ran out, clobbered it with the gear shifter on the left side of the bike, and I looked down, it was gone. I thought it was just gone, so I kept going. You know, no sense in stopping, right? And go to where I'm going and then stop. And I looked down again, I could see it was actually wrapped around my foot peg, so when I got to where I was going, I straightened it out. And I rode with that for a long time. Baxter's put a new one on it. Time went by, and I think they, you know, started to wear out, and Baxter's had the bike, Baxter Cycle here in Marnie, and they put another new one on there. And this last trip, so it's had 2, that'd be 3, I guess. This last trip, I was in, I was crossing the White Sands Missile Range. I think that's in New Mexico. And I went to downshift, and the shifter just went all the way down. Just and I got to where I was, you know, I got into town there. I don't know the name of the town where the Air Force Base is. And, you know, looked at it, and it was just the shifter. So the shifter is made of a soft metal. The shaft coming out of the engine is made of a hard metal. And I think the idea is that you wear out the soft metal shifter. It's easy to replace, easy to get to. You don't have to, and if you wear out the shaft, then you have to take the motor apart or do something like that to replace the shaft. If you wear out the shifter, you know, it's I don't know what they cost, $20, $20 shifter, and easy to do indeed. I've got fuel pump on there, so it's the original fuel pump. You know, I don't know if there's I should say I don't know if there's a fuel filter on that fuel pump. I don't know how that works. We have been running it. We haven't changed anything like that. We'll check into that to see what we can learn about that. Fuel injector is another one. It's the original fuel injector. Haven't had any issues with fueling on this bike. It always does what it's supposed to do. It runs really well. Like I said, this thing just runs. I have a lot of faith in this engine, and it's taken me a lot of places. It's taken me through deserts, you know, down the coast, through deserts, across mountains. It's, you know, Colorado. Mark and I did a bunch of Colorado BDRing. We were talking about it yesterday. He and I went out and riding our gorillas yesterday, and you know, it just, anyway, fabulous. Spark plug. We've changed the spark plug 3 times, I think, or maybe it's had 3 spark. It's had the original plus 2 more spark plugs in it, and I think the second one we might have put a special one in, but the third one we went back to whatever stock is, and I just haven't had any issues, nothing at all. Fuel X and cam add-ons. That's another thing we could add. I think we talked about Fuel X already. Fuel X and cams. I don't know if there are cams available for this. I already talked about the Fuel X. Like I said, we haven't done any kind of performance upgrades other than the DNA filter on this whole thing. So the engine is, from my point of view, the engine is just solid. You know, when Royal Enfield built this thing, they chiseled it out of rock or something. It just doesn't have any issues at all. Tough as can be. Okay, what do I think? What am I worried about, engine-wise? Well, I don't know what to worry about. It's a new engine. I think it's called the Sherpa engine, Sherpa platform. We don't know what can go wrong because, you know, we're really the first test. We're like the beta people. I would say things to, you know, in a normal engine, you'd worry about things like the water pump. You'd worry about the stator, you know. In days gone by, all motorcycles, the stators would go out at some point or another. Maybe this will too, who knows. At this point, everything's doing good. We got asked about, one of my buddies would say, why don't we change them ahead of time? And no, we're not going to do that. We've got to live on the edge, right? Next thing, I should have thrown this in on transmission. I get asked about the gearing. Have I up-geared it or down-geared it or done any of those things? And the answer is absolutely not. I have left the gearing stock, the drivetrain stock. You know, we wanted this thing to run stock. Am I happy with the gearing? I'm very happy with the gearing. I feel like it has, you know, I go down, I've been in Massachusetts on the interstate. I've never seen traffic like that. I've been through San Francisco, across the Golden Gate Bridge. I've been through Dallas and San Antonio, and traffic like you wouldn't believe. And the bike has gotten me, I've never thought, oh, I wish I had more power. It has plenty of power for urban warfare like that. It does BDRs well. It does the interstate well. So I would say gearing is, I'm very happy with all that. So what do you all think of that, huh? Quite a motor, right? Now, in order to keep these videos relatively short, I'm going to make, that'll be the engine video. We'll make another video about the suspension, and then we'll make another one about something else later on. If y'all are interested in a motorcycle like this, a new or used Royal Enfield, Triumph, classic British bike of any type, need parts, accessories, thingamajigs, doodads. Baxter Cycle's in the process right now of, they've got they're increasing the size of their parts warehouse for Royal Enfield parts. They have, we'll walk through and do a video of that in the next day or so. It's amazing. It's quite an investment. It's a lot of work. So if you're in the market for parts, BaxterCycle.com. Go to, you know, or get over to Baxter Cycle in the mighty metropolis of Marnie. They've got a, November 8th, they've got an open house. It's going to be a lot of fun. Otherwise, go to BaxterCycle.com. Tell them Fuzzy Biker sent you. Look at all these bags. These are all the, you know, this is all the kind of stuff you can get here. Just all kinds of good stuff. Now, it is a sunny day out there, and I should be riding a motorcycle. Obviously not that one. So get off the couch, get out of the easy chair, get out there and live life, my friends. Wahoo! That's the guy. That's the guy that owns it. Oh, that's dude. You gotta get that 50 degrees inside down. Wahoo! Vermont. Wahoo! Wahoo! Wahoo, Alaska!